This is one thing, which I personally feel is very important and quite common as well. Although people may not be knowing much about the chest ultrasound, and that's the reason they may be ignoring these things altogether. Now, chest ultrasound has come up recently as a very good way, new, I won't say it's a new modality, but it's a very useful modality to pick up number of diseases of the lungs. A lot of things in the chest ultrasound I cannot cover because A waves, B waves, and all these waves are there, and I think that will require more time, but I'll tell you a few important things, like ARDS. ARDS is one of the important causes of death. Yes, many patients will die because of ARDS, very common. And when we talk of this, what is ARDS? ARDS is an acute respiratory distress. Some people used to call adult also, but it is there in any age, and it is not that it is only in a child also. And acute respiratory distress. All of a sudden, you will find the patient will be breathless, and the reason is there is a pulmonary edema. So basic defect in acute respiratory distress syndrome, the final I'll say the problem is pulmonary edema, and when edema is there, definitely there won't be exchange of gases. Otherwise, the function of the lungs is to provide exchange of gases, to purify blood. The blood which is having a lot of carbon dioxide is removed of carbon dioxide, and oxygen is supplied to the blood. This is the function of the lungs, and the lung will not be able to perform the function, and definitely oxygenation in the blood will reduce, and the patient is likely to die. So this is basic defect, as I told you, is pulmonary edema, and due to pulmonary edema, oxygen supply to the blood will be poor, and since oxygen supply in the blood will be poor, through the tissues also oxygen will be very poor. Now, what can be the reason for such? The commonest cause about it is that there is an inflammation involving a lot of organs. Multiple organs are inflamed. The margins of the alveoli are also inflamed, and once the margins of the alveoli are inflamed, the exchange of gases will be poor, and that is the reason the person has such a severe condition. Now, this is a picture, although it's a very basic thing, but just to show you what is happening, that air is coming into the trachea, and then finally going into the bronchi, and bronchi are dividing into various bronchioles, fine, and then finally if you see to this picture, you'll be able to make out that bronchioles are finally going into these alveoli. Now let us see another picture here, and this picture will tell you the whole story. That alveoli are here, walls of the alveoli are here, these are the walls of the alveoli, in which the vessels are running, normal vessels, and what is happening, carbon dioxide from the vessels is moving into the alveoli, and through respiration again into the bronchiole, and it is moved out through the exhalation. During expiration, the air moves out. Fresh air is coming again into the alveoli. It is having a lot of oxygen, and this fresh air with lot of oxygen will go into the blood, which is going into the vessels just next to the walls of the alveoli, and oxygenated blood will move out of these areas. Fine. So this is the basic thing, and the problem will be there. So again, you can see these areas in between the alveoli are known as interstitial spaces. Yes. So within the interstitial spaces, there are vessels which are running. Yes. Now, edema comes due to these inflammation. Oozing of the fluid is there that leads to edema. Yes. So oozing of the fluid from the vessels around it, that leads to edema. Yes. Now, first edema will be there in these areas which are interstitial spaces, and then later on the edema will go into the alveoli. So there are two types of edema. One is interstitial edema, and the other one is alveolar edema. Here you can see these areas. You can see edema fluid is coming here, and these areas you can see the capillaries and all that. These are capillaries of the vessels running through it, and fluid is oozing out. And interstitial edema is there, and then later on alveolar edema is there. Now, acute pulmonary edema can be due to the two important causes of acute pulmonary edema which are threatening. One, pulmonary edema can be due to ARDS. What is the basic defect in ARDS? As I told you, there is inflammation involving the walls of the alveoli. Due to inflammation, what is happening? The vessels, they show oozing of the fluid, and that is causing edema. There's another condition like MI. Suppose the patient has MI, myocardial infarction is there. Let us go on to that thing. What changes will occur? Systolic output of the heart will reduce. Once the systolic output will reduce, what will happen? In diastole, there will be more blood. More blood in diastolic veins will be under higher pressure. And what will happen? Increased pressure in the capillaries also. And once there is increased pressure in the capillaries which are running next to the walls of the alveoli, what will happen? So the fluid will move out. Fluid will move now, and it will go into the interstitial space and then into the alveolar space. So such a fluid, again, which is moving out into the interstitial space and then into the alveolar, is going to cause edema. Now, this is important, that ultrasound, now till this time it was just clinical. Now comes the role of ultrasound. How ultrasound can be useful in differentiating between these two types of edema. So I have told you about two types of edema. One edema is due to ARDS, which is very common. The other edema is due to heart failure, which is equally common. So both the conditions are very common, and both can result in edema. Now how can you make out? I have told you the pathophysiology. Why? Because otherwise if you mug up the findings, you will forget. But once you know about the pathophysiology, you will not forget why such things happen. Now I'll just tell you, show you here. And what can be the reason for ARDS? You know very well. Why such a thing is there? I have told you that in this case there is a generalized involvement of multiple organs. Yes? Septicemia is there. So many organs are involved. And what can be the causes of septicemia? Like trauma, roadside accident, aspiration pneumonia, which becomes complicated. That leads to all these things. Burns patient, very common. Drug users, they land in septicemia. Again, multiple blood transfusion, fat embolism, pancreatitis can also lead to septicemia. So, septicemia is one of the basic defect in ARDS. And there are so many causes of septicemia, all very common. Definitely you will come across such cases. Now, let us go on to this thing. Acute lung injury is a term which is used for similar type ARDS, but it is a little bit less severe condition. More or less same. Now, normal lung. This is a thing which is important, and once I'll show you, you'll be able to make out few things. Normal lung, and then I'll show you, abnormal also, because without normal. But before that, okay, let me tell you about the changes which may be there. Now, if you see, this may not be the normal one, but I'll just explain you a few things. Like, this is the pleural line, yes? This is the pleural line which is seen here, which you can make out. Now pleural line, and this is these are the chest wall muscles. Pleural line is basically comprised of parietal and visceral pleura, two layers. But the space between the two pleuras is so little that you cannot make out, but parietal is fused to the chest wall. Visceral is moving because the lungs are moving with respiration, and that produces the sliding sign. Now, I'll just tell you about the sliding sign and lung collapse a little bit. So, sliding sign is always seen when there's a normal condition. Yes? What are the conditions where the sliding sign may not be seen? Anyone who can tell me? Pneumothorax. Why it may not be seen in pneumothorax? Because see, there is an air. Now, they were in contact. It was sliding and it was moving like this. But when the contact is gone, it is moving. But you cannot see the movement of the parietal layer. Why you cannot see the movement of the parietal layer? Because it is not in contact, and you cannot see the movement of the pleural line, I say. Why you cannot see the movement of the pleural line? Because they are not in contact, there is a gap. The beam is reflected from this area, and you cannot see that. What are the other conditions where You may not see sliding sign. It is in contact. It is in contact, but what is the problem?
Diaphragmatic paralysis.
It is in contact, but still, like effusion. Okay. Pleural effusion, severe type, if it is there, you may not be able to see because there is a space created, and you may not be able to see the sliding sign. So pleural effusion also, the sliding sign may not be seen. Yes? Okay, what else? Just for you, a few things. Now what happens? Pleural effusion can be another condition where they are not in contact, so you will not see the sliding sign. What are the other conditions where the sliding sign may not be seen? Collapse. Huge collapse. There is a severe collapse of the lung. Yes, complete collapse is there. So what is happening? They are in contact, but you cannot see. Why? Because the lungs are not moving. Until as the visceral pleura will move, how can you see the sliding? Sliding is telling you that not only the visceral pleura is moving, but it should be in contact. Yes? So the visceral pleura should not only move, but it should be in contact. So what is happening in collapse? They are in contact, but it is not moving. Now in case of ARDS, what is happening in ARDS? There is an acute respiratory distress syndrome. Why? Because of inflammation of the margins of the lung. And that is the reason the fluid is oozing out. There is an inflammation. So what will happen? If there is an inflammation involving these layers, the layers will be stuck up. Yes? So they cannot slide. Although breathing is there a little bit, but breathing is not producing sliding. Because due to inflammation, these layers are stuck up. So you will find in such cases, sliding is absent or reduced. Depends upon the involvement. If the involvement is less, there may be some sliding, and if the involvement is more, the sliding may be altogether absent. Is it clear to you? Now, there is a thing called lung pulse sign. What is this lung pulse sign? Anyone who can tell me? Lung pulse is, see, when the heart is beating. Yes? Suppose this is parietal layer of pleura. Yes? This is fixed to the chest wall. This is not sliding. Visceral is here. Now, visceral is in contact. Suppose I am seeing the area of the lung close to the heart. There are cardiac pulsations. Heart is moving, lung is moving, and this lower layer of the lung will move up. That is going to push the upper layer, the parietal layer, and up and down or jerky motion of the parietal layer will be produced, and this jerky motion of the parietal layer will be called, what will call this parietal layer jerky motion? Lung pulse sign, because it is rhythmic with the heartbeat. Lung pulse. Now this lung pulse will not be seen normally. Why? Because normally the sliding is so prominent that it will mask this. So normally also the cardiac pulsations are there, they are producing, but because of this to and fro motion sliding, you cannot see lung pulse. But when sliding is absent, yes, then lung pulse can be seen up and down. Yes? Can anyone of you tell me a condition where lung pulse is not seen and sliding sign is also absent? Pericardial effusion is one. Second thing is pneumothorax. Pneumothorax also, lung pulse cannot be seen because they are far off. In order to see the lung pulse, the two layers should be in contact. Yes? And they should be close to the heart so that such a movement is there. And lung pulse will be there when normal motion is not there. So in cases of ARDS, you may find lung pulse sign to be there, sliding sign to be reduced or absent. Now in cases of edema due to heart failure, I was telling you the pathophysiology, what is the basic defect? There is no inflammation of the margins. Only because the pressure has increased, because the cardiac output has reduced, so pressure in the pulmonary veins and capillaries has increased, so blood has oozed out. So there is alveolar edema just because of increased pressure, but the margins are not inflamed. Since the margins are not inflamed, so there won't be any problem in the movement. So sliding sign will not be affected, easily it can move. And since the sliding side is not affected, you will not see lung pulse also. That is one difference. Right? So this is one basic difference. And then the other thing, let us go on to the other things by which you can make out. As B lines, all of you are aware that are comet shape artifacts, ring down. All of you are aware of the B lines? You have not seen the B lines. I'll show you picture. The video scans. This is not sliding. This is with the respiration jerky motion. This is lung pulse side. This is jerky motion moving out here. Let us go on to the differences. This is what is important. We have to make out the differences between the two. Point number one, the comet shape ring down artifacts. If you see here, let us go to the pictures which can also help us. If you see to these pictures, they are bright areas. Now those people who have not seen any of these B lines, I think you go to the books and all that, you will find there are multiple ring down comet shape artifacts, just like air. I think all of you must be knowing about air artifacts that ring down. That ring down comet shape artifacts, they are known as B lines. They are not because of air, but they are because of the beam striking in an area where there is some fluid as well as air. So that produces such ring down areas. So you may find such ring down areas. Normally they are one or two, yes, not too many. If you find multiple ring down areas, what is the possibility, anyone? Interstitial edema, yes, interstitial edema or interstitial fibrosis. So if you find multiple such bright ring down areas, it means that the patient is having either interstitial edema and or interstitial fibrosis. The next step in interstitial edema is alveolar edema. Now when alveolar edema is formed, you will find such areas, the ring down areas joining to form big patches, big bright areas. So instead of thin bright lines, you will find big bright areas forming, and that produces such a thing. Yes? This is the feature of alveolar edema. Yes? This hole is also alveolar edema. Now this alveolar edema is different from this alveolar edema, because in this alveolar edema, in between you find some areas which are normal. This is a feature of ARDS, and this is a feature of pulmonary edema due to heart failure. Anyone who can tell me why such a difference is there? You apply, you get the answer.
Because they throw out water, liquid, in pulmonary edema. Uniformly scattered.
See what is happening in ARDS, the inflammation is there, yes, and edema is there. But as you know very well, inflammation is involving the margins. Many areas will not be involved. In heart failure, there is overall increased pressure. So almost all the vessels will have same pressure and there will be equal amount of diffusion. So that's the reason this is more homogeneous and this is patchy. So ARDS will have such bright areas which are patchy.
But in severe condition, it was the same picture.
Which thing?
In severe ARDS,
See, severe also, usually some areas will be there which are not involved. So some spared areas are there. In early stage, what will happen? In early stage, there may not be alveolar edema, there may be interstitial edema. What is the picture of interstitial edema? Increased B lines. Multiple such bright lines with spared areas. So whenever such bright lines are there are always some spared areas in between. That is a normal thing. So in the early stage there will be interstitial edema, and later on edema will be such like big patches. So this is one difference. The other difference is this. That is the lung consolidation. Again see here the pleural line. Can you make out here? This is another difference. The pleural line. Can you make out here? Because there is an inflammation. So pleural line will be irregular. And wherever the pleural line will be irregular, beneath it you will find these areas, which are bright zones. And where the pleural line is not irregular, you will find normal lung tissue. Normal lung tissue is darkish here with these lines which are also known as A lines. These horizontal artifacts which are also known as A lines. So you may find these A and B. I think you go through the books. Those people who don't know will be finding it tough, but it is very important. Chest ultrasound is very important. I am telling you, very useful. It can help you in a big way. I think almost all the chest physicians must be doing nowadays. And see here the difference. You may got here. In what is happening in pulmonary edema due to heart failure. This is a case where right now B lines are only there. It is not a clear cut alveolar edema. It is interstitial form only. Yes, but you can see the line is smooth. It does not have that irregularity. So irregularity is absent. Why? Because there is no inflammation, and irregularity is bound to be absent here. Just see this picture again. This is also very typical of such a condition. You can see these subpleural consolidations. This will not be there in cases of. Why? Because consolidation are due to pneumonitis, and that is going to be there inflammation of the lung tissue. Pneumonitis is inflammation of the lung tissue. That will be there in ARDS. That will not be there in this. So you will not find such a thing. Yes? This is another point by which you can make out. Again here, ARDS. ARDS, you can see this area where it is spared. The spared area, irregular line is not there, and you can see these normal A lines are there. So, above the spared area, you don't see irregularity. Can you know what here? Even in ARDS, the irregularity will be there only above the white lung, not above the normal tissue. So, normal tissue is there. So, above that, the pleural line will also be normal. Okay, and these are the things. Here, it will be more of a collapse. Where you can see compressed lung is there. Here, it will be more of pneumonitis type of consolidation. And anyone who can tell me the difference between pneumonitis and collapse? Pneumonitis and collapse. Both are consolidation. Both are considered as areas of consolidation. Why? Because the area is having less of air, and you can see it is area which can be seen. This is a consolidated lung. Yes? So consolidated lung will be there in both because air in the alveoli has been moved out.
In collapse, the lung will be normal, otherwise.
See, as a PG student, when I was there, X-rays were taught. That time it was told, consolidation is pneumonia, and collapse is when the trachea is shifting toward the same side, and it is different. But from the point of ultrasound, consolidation is including collapse, pneumonitis, all these are areas of consolidation. Now, how can you make out between a consolidation due to pneumonia and due to collapse?
Sir,
Yes, air bronchogram. Now, what happens? What type of air bronchogram?
in consolidation, the air bronchogram will be separated, and it will be normal length. And in consolidation and in collapse, they will be congested. Air
See,
bronchogram will be
one difference I think is right, that what happens in collapse, the area is very close to each other, so the air bronchograms, some air will be there. Now, why they are called consolidation? First of all, you should know this thing. These areas are called consolidation because the alveoli is devoid of air. Air has moved out, so it is appearing as almost an area like liver tissue, both. It is not seen very clearly out here, and lung tissue, but I'll just see if it can be seen here. Okay. So anyway, it is not seen, but I think all of you know about collapsed lung. It is a sharp area, almost like this, and both are called consolidation because they are not having air in the alveoli. But the bronchi may have air in both the conditions. In collapse, the bronchi are close to each other. In consolidation, they are still far off. But that may not help you. The point which is going to help you more commonly is air bronchogram dynamic. Patient will show air moving through the bronchi, in and out. That dynamic air bronchogram is suggestive of pneumonitis type of consolidation and not collapse. Collapse You may get air in the bronchi, but it will not be dynamic. Air will not be seen to move to and fro. Fine. So here, if you find in ARDS, you find consolidation, see carefully, it will be having dynamic air. This will not have a dynamic air bronchogram, even if you get. But I have told you so many points, and even if you can apply few points, you can make out. Now again, acute pulmonary edema of cardiogenic origin is a thing which I have told you. White lung without spared areas. The thing. Why spared areas are not there? Because involvement is, once you get a white lung, involvement is diffuse. Because the basic etiology is at the level of heart, so that is going to produce a similar change all over. While in cases of ARDS, either there may not be white lung, there may be just prominent V lines, or if the white lung comes, it usually has some spared areas, because again inflammation may not involve each and every portion of the lung. This is one very basic thing. Normal pleural line, why? Because there is no inflammation at the level of pleura. Even at the level of the lung tissue, there is no inflammation. While in cases of ARDS, there is inflammation. So pleural line will be irregular, although pleural line may be normal in some areas which are not affected. The areas which are not affected will have normal pleural line, but definitely some areas will have irregular. No subpleural consolidation in cases of cardiogenic origin, while as I told you, there is subpleural areas of consolidation almost in all cases, but again only in those areas where involvement is there. Rest of the areas may be normal. Normal lung sliding sign is there, in which case here. Why? Because the layers are in contact for the sliding to occur, and then the other thing is there, that the movement of the lung is there. Why lung sliding sign is absent? Although layers are in contact, but because of inflammation, the certain areas may not move that much, because they are stuck due to inflamed tissue. And once you find that the lung sliding sign is absent and the two layers are in contact, you find pulse sign to be there. As I told you, pulse sign is the movement, jerky motion, and that is basically called cardiac contraction. That is not seen in a normal lung tissue till the time the sliding sign is there. The sliding area is there, that masks, that hides the lung pulse sign. And lung consolidation in present will not have typical air bronchogram of air. What is that typical? That is the dynamic air bronchogram. So I'll tell you, it's a very interesting thing, and I'll tell you, it is, as far as the patient wise are concerned, I think you'll get more patient of chest ultrasound with these problems than musculoskeletal. People are interested a lot in musculoskeletal, but I'll tell you, the patient input in musculoskeletal is still limited. The referral is still limited, but chest, try these, you'll get a number of patients, you don't need reference. The normal patients which are coming to your nursing homes and all that, pneumothorax diagnosis, so many diagnoses you can make out on ultrasound. So remember that, try practicing these applications, and I in fact wished someday due to, in fact about 3 years back, we thought of arranging chest ultrasound, but I think that time we arranged a number of batches, short batches. There were a lot of registrations for all the things, but chest no one was interested. I don't know why. And this is one area where you should start taking interest. You'll get a number of patients to practice, and almost all of you, majority of you people have a nursing homes and all that, will definitely get these cases. Very useful to get an idea about it. So many deaths are due to pulmonary edema. I think one of the commonest cause of death, pulmonary edema, whether it is due to heart failure or whether it is due to ARDS. Both the things are equally common. So with this, I finish the talk. Thank you so much.